Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. In 1982, we got to experience a new psychological thriller film that was directed by Robert Benton. That film was called Still of the Night. It starred Meryl Streep, Roy Scheider, and Joe Grafasi, along with Jessica Tandy. The project was written by Benton and David Newman. The storyline follows Sam Rice, who's a sympathetic New York-based psychiatrist that's recently divorced, as he follows in the footsteps of his mother, Grace Rice, who is also a psychiatrist. George Bynum, one of his patients, who works at an antiquities house, is found stabbed to death. Sam is then questioned by the homicide detectives, who believe that he may have pertinent information among his therapy transcripts with the murdered man. But the psychiatrist doesn't divulge these secrets to the detective. Sam is also visited by Brooke Reynolds, who is the assistant to the murdered man. She also reveals to him that she was his mistress. She shows up to his office in order to return the murdered man's watch to his wife, who she believes doesn't know anything about her. As time goes on, you can tell a mutual attraction is happening between Sam and Brooke. As he analyzes the transcripts from the patient with his mother, he tries to piece together who may have killed him. Along with Brooke's increasingly suspicious behavior, Sam suspects Brooke may not only be the person that the dead man mentioned in his sessions as having previously killed someone, but may be the actual killer, and thus after him now. The psychiatrist has to reconcile these two sides of his thoughts towards Brooke, and whether or not she could indeed be the killer, because it could mean his life too. The movie is considered an overt homage to Alfred Hitchcock and his films, copying many scenes from his movies. A bird attacks one character, as in Hitchcock's The Birds. A scene takes place in an auction, as in North by Northwest. Someone falls from a great height, as in Vertigo. Stuffed birds occupy a room, as we see in Psycho. Then we take a look at Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep's hair is styled much like Eva Marie Saint's was in North by Northwest. And the city of Glen Cove, New York, is featured in both films. Everything for the project was filmed in and around New York City during March of 1981. Some scenes were shot at Columbia University, the Boathouse Cafe in Central Park, and the Museum of the City of New York. After the film was completed, the writer-director, Robert Benton, said that he regretted the emphasis that was placed by the critics upon it being an Alfred Hitchcock imitation. He stated that he intended for the film to be a more modern equivalent of the 1940s wave of thrillers. But you have to realize this is something that directors have done for years and years. They find one director that has something that works and they copy it. It's done in the YouTube community all the time. I find it quite intriguing that he ties things into Hitchcock films. The director once described the movie as what happens to a man when he finds himself falling in love with a woman that he fears. The entire premise of the movie resulted from an actual experience that Benton had had in his past. When the script was written by him, Meryl Streep was the one that he had in mind for the part of Brooke Reynolds all along. It's also said that Streep and Roy Scheider got along really well during the filming of the project. Streep later compared his persona as like a Cary Grant quality. Originally, the working title for the film was called Stab. This title later on became part of the Scream movie franchise, becoming that series' movie within a movie. The director Benton re-teamed with Meryl Streep for a second time with this film. He liked working with her so well during Kramer vs. Kramer from 1979 that he just had to cast her for this role. The director and Meryl Streep won Oscars for that film Kramer vs. Kramer. While he's sitting in the basement laundry room, psychiatrist Sam Rice is seen holding and carrying a can of Tab soda, a very popular soda from that time, which I can't understand. That stuff was nasty. Sales of that soft drink began to decline dramatically in 1982. All this after Diet Coke was introduced to the public. This all happened the same year of the release of this film. The film's main movie poster has a tagline that reads, "If looks could kill." This phrase has actually been a movie title itself many times. The film commits three big clichés that fall into the thriller genre. The first being that the hero is on her way to safety and suddenly she realizes she forgot her keys and has to turn back. The second being the villain walks through a bell or wind chime as they are stalking the hero, cluing the hero that they are being stalked. And the third being the infamous cat jump scare, which you see in Romancing the Stone and Friday the 13th Part 2. And many other films as well. Now, of all the films that Meryl Streep has done, she's been asked before which one she liked the least, and this one was named. She wouldn't give specifics on her reason. She told the interviewer, "Never mind." But one of the facts may be an unusual thing about this project, as you actually see Meryl Streep pretty much nude at a long distance in this film. Now, granted, it's not very close up, and it happens fairly quickly, but she does strip down to nothing. She is notoriously against taking off her clothes on film. After this, the only time that it happened was a brief flashing shot in Silkwood from 1983. After that, she vowed to always keep her clothes on going forward. This is not a great movie, but it's still fun to watch. I just love the tie-ins to Alfred Hitchcock. Go back and watch it. You might enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.